time has now come for America and the world. Time has now come for America and the world to be ready for something new, a radical overhaul of the tax system and a radical overhaul of monetary system. Both of these, again, are not given by God. They are social tools, and to the extent they're flawed, they can be recreated and redesigned. No problem. Laws, that's what Congress is supposed to do, and the president should get behind it because this will help him be reelected. He's going to need something that will get the economy cranking again. In terms of, yes, historic rates are about 2.5%, 3% of growth. But when I was a kid in Bridgeport, Connecticut, you had 13 million of the most able-bodied workers out of the workforce in the military. And the economy was growing at 15% a year. That's telling you something, that the system, if there are customers behind the economy, and there were customers for weaponry, that the economy can grow and train people and put them to work, and that's what happened. So you had rapid rates of growth, but this is also telling you that there's a hidden, untapped capacity, and while Dr. Fred mentioned human capital, well, we separate humans from capital. These are just terms. We use the word workers or labor to define the human being, and obviously it can increase their productive capacity in many ways. The system helps do that. But capital we define as things, and that would be land, structures, machines. It's distinct from financial, what's called financial capital, but real capital, productive capital. And if in most of the studies that have been made indicate that most of the increases in wealth are not due to human beings becoming more productive, but rather technology. You can't change human nature, but you can change the technologies to do more and more with less and less human effort. And if you own that technology, and the technology is responsible for the production, increases in production, if you own it, then you're entitled to what's called profits, or the yield of capital. I think our system.
Well, I would agree with some of it, but I don't agree with everything that you've said. I do think that human capital is not just a theoretical term. I do think that wealth and productivity are related to the skills of the individual as distinct from the tools that they work with, although the tools that they work with, i.e. technology, is important. But I don't buy it that it's all due to, quote, capital. And I understand, I agree with the distinction between financial capital and assets, hard assets and land. I think that there are some significant flaws in our system when it comes to distribution. I think the Congress has made, and the president, and past presidents in particular, have made some very bad errors in policy that relate to specifically tax policy. And part of the problem that we're having right now with the deficit, and I agree with this, is man-made. Part of the problem with the deficit is that we had a tax cut that essentially transferred tremendous amounts of wealth to firms and high net income individuals, and that was a mistake, and that was a mistake in fiscal policy. And I think that we're dealing with that in ways that probably are appropriate. I think that there will be some changes in tax rates. There's a struggle because nobody wants to pay more taxes, but the fact of the matter is we are not on a path that would generate economic stability. So some significant changes.
You're absolutely right. Everything you said, I agree with, but except the term, the use of terms, and what you are mentioning, Dr. Fred, are the intangibles that take place that are also productive. For example, management systems improve. We've developed something called justice-based management and justice-based leadership systems where you enable the people to participate more, to be empowered in the decision-making process. And certainly, education, to me, the educational system, as I look at it, is really to create jobs, not to create the ability of people to be as creative as they could. We can make radical overhauls in the educational system to enable people to be more productive, to bring out the highest level of their creativity. So I'm not going to
well,
I think we're
we're agreement. We're in agreement there.
Okay, now let me
hold
talk
on,
about the
Norm.
tax
We're
system.
going to have to take a break coming up, Norm. I know your passion for your work, and I also recognize Dr. McKinney's position as well. I think you can see just from just the very brief dialogue we've had so far that there's a lot to discuss and a lot to talk about. My hope has been by having him here that he also be receptive to just the ideas that we talk about, and we would have this kind of exchange, and others would hear this kind of exchange as well and benefit from it. So we're not gonna conclude here. We're gonna try and make this a point where we put a bookmark, and hopefully we'll finish it up on another broadcast. We're gonna ask Dr. Fred to come back because we're gonna hopefully have the same exchange, if you will, again. But we want to give him a chance to talk a little bit about his programs this morning as well. So. Norm, we thank you for calling in, and we appreciate all that you do, and we certainly look forward to the next time when we can continue this talk about these historic ideas.
It's been a pleasure.
Doctor,
Thank you very much.
No, it's been my pleasure, and I look forward to speaking with you again. Okay.
Have a great day.
Okay, you too.
All right, we're going to come back just in a moment, and we're going to hear from Dr. Fred about some of the things that he's working on at the Greater New England Minority Supply Development Council. We want him to talk to us about some of the things that's happening at the council, and to have him consider coming back when he's got more time and being a part of the show again. Hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with the challenge.